Hello, I'm Dr. Scheidbach. I pastor Lighthouse Baptist Church in Santa Maria, California. I'm your brain masseuse, and to get ready for your brain massage. The Bible says in Proverbs 28 and verse 2, "For the transgression of the land, many are the princes thereof." And that word princes would refer to rulers, governors, and so on. "But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged." And so transgressors are in the land. Evil is something that we have to deal with. And God has appointed government with the responsibility to address evil by focusing its attention on the evildoer. It's evildoers that bring evil into the world. All right? Not all the good people and the innocent people around that evildoer who are impacted and affected by it. But the evildoer should be the focus of our concern. And that's where we need to direct our attention in response to these school shootings. We need to direct our attention to the evildoer of these deeds and not, all the people around them. And we're going to get into that right now. CNN rally versus reality. I'm offering a critique on of the liberal argument for gun control. And in this particular segment, I'm going to address how to deal with insults. A teenage young lady gave a speech at the CNN town hall turned anti-Trump rally that I call the CNN rally versus reality show. And it is fair to say that young lady's speech lays out the liberal argument for gun control as a solution or as a response to school shootings as competently and as clearly and as completely as I think you can find anywhere. After she hurled out her first insult against Christians and well-wishers all over America by throwing their thoughts and prayers back into their face, let's not be too hard on the young'un. She probably doesn't understand what we mean by that expression. I tried to address that in the first segment. Nevertheless, it's clear she does not understand that sentiment is a commitment to take meaningful action where necessary and where it's possible. And then the second part of her speech addressed the collective disgust that the young people she represents have with the inaction of government charged with the protection of the most vulnerable among us. She thinks the answer to the inaction on the part of the adults is for the victims to, as she put it, quote, "be the change they want to see," end quote. Now, we've all heard that slogan. It's a good one, actually. And so, okay, fist pump, rah, rah, go get 'em, gal. Yeah, and please, by all means, be the change you want to see. It sounds good. It's good advice. I'll take it. I intend to be the change I want to see. I'm resolved to be the change I want to see. And I would call on all conservatives everywhere to step up to that challenge, to be the change you want to see. Take action. On the issue of murdering babies in the womb, for example, be the change you want to see on that issue. On the issue of leaving our schools vulnerable to monsters like Nicholas Cruz. I mean, we do more to protect our banks than we do our schools. I mean, by all means, let's step up to the challenge and let's be the change we want to see. So I'm with you there. Third, she threw out another litany of ridicule and insults against those who claim their natural and inalienable right to bear arms, surmising that they are selfish, that they don't care that young people are being murdered by maniacs like Nicholas Cruz. How do we conservatives deal with insults like that? And we've done it for a lot of years. We want the old people to eat dog food, right? We want the air to poison everybody so everybody dies. It's mind-boggling in terms of how absurd it is. But somehow there are enough people whose thinking is so shallow that it actually has an influence on them, and it's too bad. Anyway, this young lady mentioned a teacher in her school who characterized those of us concerned about protecting our right to protect ourselves as, being all about me, right? Me. She said this. She said that when she hears gun advocates talk about my right or my Second Amendment rights, what she hears is my right to own a gun outweighs your right to live. Now, friend, this is what one of our teachers told a class of very impressionable young people in a high school in the wake of that shooting in Parkland. Unbelievable. I mean, really? My right to own a gun outweighs your right to live. One thing problematic about an adult debating any young person, full of emotion and armed with hyperbole, masquerading as an argument, is that almost any response is going to leave that adult looking like an insensitive, unfeeling, and dismissive adult. I mean, it's about as close to a no-win situation as you can imagine. And the left knows this, which is the reason their strategy is like that of ISIS or Hezbollah or these other terrorists that embed themselves in neighborhoods, hide in schools, hide behind women and children, or send the women and children out to do their dirty work for them. So at this point, rather than attempt to engage what is manifestly the shallowness of the argument beneath this cheap shot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to point out how insulting it is. And forgive the personal nature of this part of my response, but at the bottom line, it comes down to a personal insult. Whether that's intended by this young lady, I don't know, but that's what it is. To hear any young person or their teachers insinuate that because I believe it is important to the safety of our children, to the protection of our liberties, to the defense of my life and my family, that we protect the Second Amendment, and that because I think there is a better way to solve this problem, that although I agree with her that something must be done, that simply because I disagree with her proposal, that therefore I don't care about life, or that I care less about protecting her or her fellow students than she does. It's a classic young person type argument. Actually, it's a pretty classic liberal tactic, isn't it? There's something to think about there. I would like to point out that these are the sorts of statements that really get in the way of having a very intelligent, even a somewhat intelligent, honest conversation, well, about anything. And that's what we've noticed consistently from the left. I mean, there's no interest on their part to actually see or hear what it is that we're saying. It's like it's their way or the highway, as they say. Any compromise made when working with them seems to always work in their favor. Pay attention. You'll see that the right will over and over and over again extend the olive branch, if you will, stepping in their direction a step or two where they feel they can give them some ground. But the left never steps in our direction. You can take Rubio, for example. I think it was pathetic. But it does at least illustrate my point. Here again, a conservative steps up, reaches out, takes a step or two in their direction, and what happens? Basically, he gets slammed. And now he's getting slammed from both sides of the whole mess. It's always a mistake because all it does, and we've seen this over and over and again, all it does is strengthen their resolve to take more and more and more ground from us. They're not interested in coming to a mutual understanding over an issue. They're interested in overcoming and overtaking our side completely and leaving us with nothing. This is their objective. This is what they want to do. And they've shown us that over and over and over again. And many others are beginning to have been observing this for a while now, and thank God for it. I don't pretend to know the mind and heart of all liberals who are promoting these infringement laws, and that's what they are. But I can assure you, as I go deeper and deeper and deeper into this, you will find, as I have found, you will finally come to a circle of agitators whose agenda has nothing at all to do with protecting anybody, who would view the children killed at Parkland as collateral loss, collateral damage to a greater cause and greater mission. Now, you need to trust me on this. I know that's not the case in the broader circle, and maybe not even in about 5 or 6 circles down, but you get down to a certain place, a certain circle of people agitating for this thing and using deceits and lies to manipulate the rest of the people to cooperate with their ultimate agenda. There's a group of people here who view the death of those kids as unfortunate collateral damage in a cause, and the cause is to disarm Americans. That's the cause. That's what they really want to do, because everybody who's ever pursued the takeover of any nation for purposes of transforming it into some other whatever, they always want to take away the guns of the people first. Hitler did it. I mean, I don't want to go through that whole history. It's been repeated hundreds of times, and you should know that by now if you don't. That's what they always do. They take away our guns. They disarm the people. Hitler said that was what you have to do if you're going to overtake a country. You've got to disarm the people. And there is a circle down there who want to restore the monarchy. All right? They want to take us back to a form of tyranny, whether it be a socialist, Politburo type thing, top-down government over all the people. But what they want to do is put government in the place of God and bring everybody into a subservient position where they serve the government. I mean, this goes back to the days of pagan Rome. I mean, it's a very old impulse in the Nimrods among us to bring everybody under their governmental control. And there's a group at a certain level under all this, and that is their objective. All right, the point here is that sometimes the only effective way to respond to an emotional argument is to respond somewhat in kind, to point out how insulting it is for you or anybody listening who believes this way to insinuate that because I believe that my Second Amendment protection of my inalienable right of self-defense, that because I believe that needs to be protected, that therefore I don't care about those kids that were killed at Parkland, man, that makes me angry. I get so sick and tired of that kind of thing. So if you're a liberal and you want to have a conversation with conservatives about this, how about you grow up and start thinking like, well, how about like an adult? Okay, I've lit the lamps in the church belfry arch. Now, you let me know you see they're on by going to brainmassage.net. That's brainmassage.net. You'll see a place there where you can interact with me and connect with me, and I'd love to hear from you. In the next segment, I'm going to talk about the Australia argument. You're going to find it fascinating. God bless you. God bless America, and I'll see you in church.